How nice was it to have Emory Blake back out there and kind of bring something to that passing game?
I was really nice. Obviously, he has to be accounted for, so you can't put 9 and 10 guys in there. But not just the plays that he made, but his leadership. Our offensive guys look to him. They like to look up and see him in that huddle. So it was really good to have him back. And the kid's really worked hard. It's hard when you're injured, and it's not that he doesn't want to be out there, but he can't. And so that was mentally tough on him. But he shook the rust off a little bit. His first route was a little shaky, but he came back, and I was glad to see him shake the cobwebs off and get back into it.
What does it show young guys, I guess, that you have a guy that's full speed that can still sell a double move and get that wide open for a touchdown?
It tells a lot. Because he leads by example. And again, I think because he ran that route so much, it's almost second nature to him. And it's really just having a feel for it. But he and Clint hooked up, and we teased Clint about the wobbly ball. I told him how to pull from the sideline. We take it anywhere we can get it, and obviously that execution of just them two together. Because really Emory hadn't worked a lot with Clint, so it was really good to see them two hook up like that.
On the flip side, Clint's deep ball to Quindarius Carr was
smooth. That was really nice, and we practiced it all week, and they hit it every time. And so it made you confident in calling that play, and it unfolded just like in practice. And he made a nice catch, and he did a nice job. I think was missed is Trevon was the outside receiver, so they went over to double him and allowed Q to cross the safety's face and make a big play like that, which we needed that boost. Again, it loosened the defense up, and we were able to establish the running game again after that.
Switching gears, kind of talk about Evan Thomason and just the impact he's had on your team.
I tell you, anytime you think you're having a hard time or a bad day, if you think about what this kid meant to our football team, there's a kid that was part of the Make-A-Wish program. He could have went to see anybody in the country, and he asked to come and see our football team. And I can remember our players all getting up, and we walked toward him, was talking to the kid, and after our FCA ended, the kid was so tired, he literally was trying to hold his eyes open with his fingers. And I remember just listening to Caleb and Mike and probably Philip Lutzenkirch talk more about the kid than anybody, just about where he was after we got into our own personal just conversations about it. And we really respected the family for bringing him there, but it was tough because he was a 10-year-old kid that wasn't allowed to see his 11th birthday, and we think we have problems. So, obviously as a father, you look at it that way, but as a player, they think about the things that they're blessed with. And here's a kid that wasn't able to participate in those things. But, the kid had a great spirit about him. He put my championship ring on. He had a big smile on his face, and he took a lot of pictures with all of us. And I have him in my office right now. And Lutz actually puts his name on his shoe, and on his tape during the games. And so I think, when he's tired or when he's hurt and feeling sorry for himself in the game, I'm sure he looks down at that and uses that as inspiration. But, we have a lot of respect for that kid and his family.
I hate to follow that up with this question.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sammy Coates dressing out on Saturday. Is he closer to the field, or kind of what's his?
Yeah, he's got some deals with his calf. Just when you're in a cast and the muscle atrophies on its own, and so until he gets that back. But as far as catching balls and doing things like that, he's done a really good job at practice. And the biggest deal is the mental reps that he has to take, just because obviously physically can't do it yet. But I tease him all the time. He's another one of those limos with no gas. He looks pretty in his uniform, and I don't get to drive him. I just get to look at him. So until he's back out there and been able to participate, I'm going to keep teasing him and pushing him as hard as I can to get him back. I tease those guys that are not, participating because of injury to try to get them back, obviously, for the team. But, we go too much into it. I don't know that'll be a decision for the head coach on whether or not to play him and break his red shirt. There definitely have to be probably some injuries and something to come up to get him to do that. But he's definitely a talented kid, and we look forward to getting him out there.
For him to dress, kind of one of those things where you just kind of get him used to the atmosphere and get a feel for it?
Absolutely. There's no substitute for experience. And so for him to go out there and warm ups and run through the catches and do some of those things just to get his confidence up, and then get him that experience of being in front of 80, 90,000 people in that type of atmosphere. And then, we'll probably travel him on the bus to the hotel, things like that, just to get him used to that, because obviously we feel like he's going to be a big piece of the puzzle for the future.